What's up, everybody? You are now tuned into No Sleep, a series where I get to talk to other creators about the hustle, the struggle, and the success behind what they love to do and their passions.
How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Get up. Wake up. Play the guitar. Play the guitar. Record the song. Play the guitars. No sleep. No sleep. No sleep. Get up. Get up. Get up. No sleep.
It's your time.
Tonight with me, I have my girl, Janay Nicole. Janay, tell me more about yourself.
I'm a singer-songwriter from Somerset, New Jersey. So in the process of working on like a project. So It's been a while, but you know, it's a long time coming. Every artist, you know, like you yourself being an artist. But I'm working on it. Me and my brother, we collabed. My brother's my producer primarily.
That's
but
amazing.
It is. It really does work out. But we're trying to like collab with other people, so he's getting the opportunity to kind of like collab with people. But I'm a singer-songwriter, just trying to like you said, hustle and make more music and content. So,
Awesome. And how long have you been singing for?
since I was about 3.
Wow.
And I used to sing along, like my mom used to play gospel in the car.
Aww.
So that was my first like
Yes.
that was like my first
Hallelujah.
that was my first love. So I used to like be kicking my feet in like the car seat singing along.
Aww.
But like as I got older, they were like, oh wow, like you can actually like carry a tune. So they kind of like put me into like vocal lessons and stuff like that. So that's where it kind of started.
That's awesome. And then your brother, how long has he been producing for?
He started producing more in high school, Fruity Loops, good old Fruity Loops, which is like made its way back in the production world. But he's a percussionist first, so he started playing drums in like high school and like the band. Then he took that with him to college, and he went to like an HBCU and was like the drum major there. So that was dope. So that's where he got like his music background from, and then he just took it kind of into like the electronic form of music.
I swear to God, I swear, if I had a sibling or a family member here that I could make music with, it would be freaking over. Like, I'm sure you guys are just like in and out of the studio or just at home, like cooking shit up all the time, like not sleeping.
All the time. And my mom's like, turn that music down. Like, blah, blah, blah. And like, he lives close by, but he doesn't live with us. So
Okay.
he's over a lot, and we kind of like cook up that way. But he also has a family, so.
That must be so, like, I always think about that too, because I'm like, I'm at that age where I'm almost, what age am I? Am I 26 or 27? Fuck. I'm almost 30, so I'm like, how am I gonna balance a family and then music?
That always crosses
You
my
know?
mind. And you know, it's so funny because like I say singer-songwriter because sometimes I sit up and I'm like, would I rather just be behind the scenes? Because like if you're touring or if you have like a schedule that you have to
Right.
meet or you have to be tour ready and like you can't have a baby or you can't be pregnant or like 9 months in like to a pregnancy, so that kind of like crosses your mind when you're trying to
Yeah.
pursue what you want to do.
Exactly.
But I agree with you. It's hard.
That's why we have to go through so many stages as a singer. Like, we definitely have to touch that stage before anything. At least get that out of the way, experience that, and then, you know, be behind the scenes, be like a ghostwriter or whatever. But like, when did you start performing?
It kind of came about, so from like the area we're from, like I went down to New Brunswick and I was
Shout out
like,
Bruns.
Shout out Brunswick, shout out Deltas. That's where I'm about to go. They were like, I just went in there. I was like, yeah, like I'm a singer. Like I was in there with my mom, and I was like, if you guys would let me sing there, and they were like, oh, we'll check you out. Like we'll get back to you. I was like, they're not gonna get back to me, but they actually did. And you know what? Before then, I started doing like stuff in school, so I can kind of attribute it to high school too. I'm in vocal class. That's where we used to like perform and do like cabaret. You were part of cabaret.
I was gonna
right?
say, I'm like, wait, were we in choir together? Did you do
Yes,
choir?
yes.
There was only one class for that, right?
Yep.
Okay, yes,
And
because
we
I
were
remember
all
you.
crammed up in that little tiny
Yes, but I still remember you singing when we had to do those tests, and I was like, who is that? Like, yeah, because how old are you?
24. Wow, almost about my
24.
age, too.
Okay, so we're like, yeah, we getting there, girl. We getting old. Couple years younger than me, so I'm like, who is this girl with this voice? So you did that choir.
Yes.
You did vocal class as well.
I did voice class.
Voice
I tried
class.
to do like at least 2 of those because that was like my safe.
Godsend. Yes.
I would
Free.
go from like math to the
Shout out
F-wing.
Betty.
Shout out Betty.
I used to skip class to go to the F-wing, girl. I'm like, this is where I belong.
She would not bother you. You just go in there and sit and be quiet.
With her
and she'd be like,
nails.
Yep.
Yes,
Always had a
girl.
French manicure.
Always had her nails done. That's awesome. And then, so you started performing at Deltas, and how old were you when you went over there?
I think I was about like 23. I want to say 23. I think it was about a year ago, and I did a few things there on Fridays. So they're really cool with
That's
like the
awesome.
They're really they're really dope for opening up their like doors for you for that, because I was like, I don't have any experience or anything, but can you let me sing?
But like, what was the worst that could happen? Like, you just went in there with no hopes of anything happening, and then here you are.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it takes. And now you're also doing covers on Instagram, and you're also performing other places. Her covers, by the way, are freaking crazy. We're gonna drop her tag down below, cause like, goddamn, I can't.
Thank you.
What made you start doing the covers on Instagram?
I don't know what made me start doing the covers on Instagram. It was really funny because I started way back in like high school on Facebook.
Right. Yes.
And I did this one Christina Aguilera cover, like I can't remember the name of the song, but it was like it's a throwback.
Give us a little.
Oh my gosh, it's like
bit of it.
Feel like the world's been infected, and somehow you left me neglected. We found our lives been changed. What is the name of that song? You Lost Me. It's like the name of You Lost Me or something like that.
I don't know, but I'm getting a little teary. No, like I love Christina Aguilera, and that is, I've actually never heard of that song.
You gotta listen to that song. That song's
The
dope.
melody was beautiful.
It's a dope song. It's like a.
I'm trying to think. I don't know, but that's crazy.
And I started that on Facebook, and I just something just was like, oh, just post this on Facebook, and I was like, okay, let me do it, and then I did it. And then people were like, oh my gosh, like, it's really good. And I was like, but you always have that fear, like, do I really put myself out there like that? Or, because whenever you put yourself out there, you're going to be judged. Either you'll get a negative response or a positive response. So you get a mix of both sometimes, or most of the time. But I was like, you know what do I have to lose? Kind of like what you just said. So that's where it started. But now with Instagram, it's very easy. It's gotten easier to just sit, do a cover. You find an instrumental on YouTube and just like, it's like therapeutic. Like it literally is therapy, because if I find a song that I connect with and then I sit and like sing it and kind of like internalize the words, and I feel like as singers we have the ability to kind of connect to music more in a different way than like most people do, not to take away anybody else's musical experience, but like as singers we get to like kind of internalize it, then like translate it the way we feel it, or we hear it. So I don't know, that's why I love doing covers. That's like therapy. I literally lock myself in my room and just sit and sing for hours.
And it's crazy because it's like, not only is it therapeutic for us, but it's also something we use to like bond with people that are listening, people that are watching us. And it's so crazy. Like, I'm sure you get messages that are like, oh, when are you going to drop your next cover, this and that? And you're just like, I'm just doing this for fun. Like, I didn't even know that this is something that you guys look forward to.
Yep. I be getting requests. I'm like, I don't even know that song.
The request, for real. Like, you're making, and then they start asking, like, where's our request at? Right. Exactly. But that's awesome. And you know what's crazy? I used to do covers on Facebook, but the thing that like made me stop was the copyright. I'm like, I can't do this no more. I'm putting my all into this, and now y'all just like taking my video off Facebook for what?
And that's frustrating after you put all that hard work into it. That's
right.
the most frustrating thing.
Did you ever have to deal with that on Instagram or Facebook?
I've never had to deal with that, honestly. I don't know why. Because like everybody, I see people complaining like that their stuff gets taken down.
I do not own this.
Yeah, like all those disclaimers in the caption. I'm like, oh, maybe I should do that too before all my stuff gets taken down. But I've never dealt with it. Knock on wood. Can't locate any wood at the moment. There we go. But I hope not. But I see a lot of people go through that. I do. And you have a beautiful voice as well.
Thank you. Collab soon.
Yes. We need to make that happen ASAP.
Girl, we need to make that happen ASAP.
And we always say this, but
no, but real talk. Really 150,000 likes. No, I'm just kidding. And we'll drop a fire track.
Fire cover.
So awesome. That's so crazy. Now songwriting. Tell me more about that and how you got into songwriting.
So songwriting is a battle for me. Like it's hard for me to. It was harder before, like when I first started like making original content, because it was like very elementary. So like I started off like, oh, my heart is breaking, I am crying.
Yes.
My brother would be like, okay,
like a poem.
Get it. He'd be like, but is there another way you can kind of express that? So I still struggle with that in a way.
I love it.
It's bad. It was really bad. Like my mom was like,
Y'all
what are you
go through
talking
it.
about? She's like, this don't even make sense. But I'm getting to the point now where I'm able to be more of like an open book.
Yes.
I feel like I was so simplistic with what I was saying and how I was putting it into words because I didn't want to feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
So
which is nothing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and as I get older, I realize that. And our generation has a way of like making us feel like vulnerability is like weakness. So that right there makes me more so sit down and really like think about like, okay, how would I really say this? Like if I was talking to the person like that I'm addressing this to, if I'm writing this song and it's directed towards a specific someone. So I try to like dig a little deeper. I'm not the best songwriter. I will never claim to be like the best singer-songwriter because I'm always trying to perfect or work towards my craft.
Right.
But it's hard. Songwriting's hard for me.
And it's like people like SZA, like songwriters like that, where they use metaphors, and I'm just like, how? I'll never forget the one line where she was like, she says, "Hey love, picking up a penny with a press on is easier than holding you down."
Yep.
And I remember explaining that to my white boss, and he was like, "That's not a I'm like, "Listen, you try picking up a penny with a press on, okay? It
not
ain't easy." Like, that's beautiful, and it's like, you're right. It really takes a lot of time for you to just learn that craft, and it's all about experience and experimenting with different things. And there's no right or wrong, because I always tell Ron, I'm like, it's always the other person's perception as well. Like, they can always take what you say and just like completely switch it around, and then it's going to be based off of what they think.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do, I feel like there's no right or wrong.
Nope, you're right.
You know?
It's all about relatability. So that line might have hit you one way, and then it might have hit me like another way.
Right.
So that's the beauty of like music and how you interpret it.
Exactly.
That's what makes it so beautiful.
And what do you usually write to? Like, I know you're an R&B artist, and is that usually what your genre is?
Typically, I try to step out of my comfort zone a little bit, like with writing, like, and I'll try to do like some like hip hop tracks, but not like hardcore hip hop, like not like trap. that ain't me. Like, I can't even try. But sometimes like that more like trap soul like type flow. Like sometimes I can kind of tackle those, or if I'm in that vibe. So I'll try, but more so R&B to answer your question, yeah.
Got you. And then going back to the whole vulnerability aspect of it, like, how hard was that for you to deal with? Because as an artist, you're really putting your all out there. Like, for me, it's been so long since I put out a sad song, just because I don't want people to be like, oh, she's talking about Ron. But it's like, I literally could have written this like 3 years ago before he even came into the picture.
So true.
So like, how do you deal with that?
It's hard because even when you post stuff on Instagram, like people are reading your stories like, oh, are you sad? And I'm like, no, girl, I just posted it because I related to it like at a point in my life, so I wanted to repost it.
Right.
So you're right. Similarly to songs, people are like, oh, you're heartbroken? Like, oh, your man broke your heart? Like, is that what you're going through, a breakup? Oh, okay. So you kind of like have to like, I don't know, you kind of have to just put that all aside and just be like, you know what, let me make this in the moment, because, and sometimes that's what music comes from, experience, like you said. So if you're in that vibe or in that moment, that's what you're going through, that's when some of the best music honestly comes out of people. So if you make it, then somebody else will be able to relate to it.
That's all it matters.
Yep.
Like, that's it. If another person can relate to it, then it's like, but it's just everything else that comes with it. I just don't want to deal with that, you know?
I completely agree, because people are always going to judge or try to, especially an artist, if you're like somebody wants to be nosy about like what you're doing, if you don't give them enough, like, then they'll try to like pull from everything. So your music, whatever. So you just kind of got to let them speculate and do whatever.
And how do you manage to balance that? Like, how do you manage putting out music for other people to relate to versus putting out music because this is how you feel?
I struggle with that only because it's hard to, there's like a wave of music, so I'm trying to make sure I answer this right. So there's like a wave, so like right now like R&B's coming back in.
Yes.
So it kind of helps because I'm like, oh, this is
you.
This is it. This is me. This is my turn. Like, I'm next up. Like, I hope. So I try to like, right now I can do that and make how I feel and like my typical vibe and put it out, and typically it's perceived well. Right. But when trap is like on like the verge of, whenever trap was at its height, like nobody wants to hear like a piano instrumental. Right. So you're like, oh, let me like put a little trap drum in there. I'm like telling my brother, like, put a trap drum. Yes,
exactly.
So you can draw that like attention. But so now it's a little easier now because like her, all those dope artists like Snow Allegra, all of them, like that vibe is just slowly coming back in. So like you and I will be able to like flourish in like that vibe.
Yes.
But before it was hard because nobody wanted to hear like, you come in and kill a whole vibe. Like going to Delta's, like they had like a live band with like a bass guitar, and then I come up singing like a slow song. They're like, no.
And I feel like that's the hardest thing about musicians or just creators in general, because you're doing this to connect with fans, yes, but you're also doing this for yourself.
Yes.
So let's say, like, for example, you're super happy about something, you want to write about it. Let's say it's a pop song or an EDM song. Whatever, you're super proud of it, you record the track, you put hundreds of dollars into it. You take the time to do it. It takes over 6 months. You finally put them out. You're marketing it also, finally put it out. But then like nothing, like crickets chirping. And it's like, that's gotta be so difficult for an artist because you're doing this to really, you know, you want to connect with other people, but then you're also doing this for yourself.
Yep.
And it's a weird balance because you're kind of like, you know, exactly. And it's just, what do you do when you get burnt out in that situation? Like, do you get burnt out when it comes to that?
Sometimes, but then I see instances like the girl Lizzo, who like, that's crazy to me. Like that story behind that Truth Hurts song. Like how,
what is it?
That you ever seen it's like, why man gray when you gotta be.
Yeah.
That one. So that song was like 3 years ago.
I just wanted her to sing. Yep.
What is it? It was like 3 years ago, and that song came out. No traction.
No
movie
way.
placements. Nothing.
Wow.
And so finally, like now the song's relevant like 3 years later. So I'm pretty sure in the moment she was like, dang, like I made this song.
This is
I
a
thought it
hit.
was great. I thought I was gonna ride the wave of like music today. Like, you literally gotta let the people speak for, or like it just, everything has its time. That's why they say if you make a track and you think it's like whack or whatever, don't delete it. They're like, keep it, save it, and maybe you're ahead of your time. Like you never know. Maybe you release it like 2 years down the road and it might hit or like latch on, like catch on, because that got picked up in a movie, like a Netflix movie, and I think
that's what it was. The one with the Spanish girl. She was like dancing in her underwear, right? Because she just went to through a breakup.
So that's crazy how some of those songs work. And then there's like a instance with a beat. I think it was that Bobby Shmurda song. I could be wrong, but I think it was that Bobby Shmurda song. Like that beat. Whoever made that beat, they hated that beat, and they were like, "Oh, let me play this for you."
Yeah.
They're like, "Let me just play this song for you, whatever." But you probably ain't gonna like it that. They're like, "No, like I really like that." And he said he had that beat for like a number of years, and that song is what got him like paid. It's just crazy how it works.
That's scary. I literally got chills because like you have this one chance. You have no idea what's like the Delta situation. You're just doing it just to see what could happen, and then all of a sudden it pops off, and then now you're performing at she's performing at Coachella, the BET Awards. Like you just got to keep going as an artist or whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating. And it's hard. I always talk about balance, and I feel like for this year, what am I, 26? 26 years old. I've been singing for seriously been singing for maybe 2-3 years. And this year was tough. I feel like as you get older, I don't know if you can relate, but as you get older, it's just it gets harder because you start to lose patience. And you're just like, what's happening? Right, when is this gonna happen? And I literally went through such a crazy burnout phase, a crazy rut, because mind you, I'm not just trying to sing, I'm also trying to teach myself how to play the guitar. I'm also trying to expand my horizons and do things like this. So it's like when you're doing so many things at once, you just, all of a sudden you just get into this slump. And I don't know, I used to look around, or even people like you, I'm like, I don't know how people can just continue to do this and do covers all the time. I literally had a depression phase, and I'm like, I can't, I don't know how people do this.
It's hard.
So what is your secret, girl? Because I'm trying to,
listen,
what's the balance? I need it.
Tell me. I get burnt out so much, but it always seems like every time I'm about to give up, something, it's so weird. And I don't know what it is, but literally every time me or my brother are about to be like, yo, let me just go get a regular job. Let's just throw the towel in. Let's just stop this whole thing we're doing. Something happens and we're like, oh,
crazy.
And it's like a nudge, kind of from the universe. No, keep
this
going.
You're meant for this.
Yep, this is your path. It's not happening when you want it to, but keep going. So you kind of have to just keep that, because negativity so easily will creep up in your judgment and all that stuff. But you just have to keep focused, and that's why it's not for everyone. That's why they say not everybody, even though there are other people out there talented, that's why they always say it's not for everyone, the lifestyle or the whole process. So if you can persevere through it, then you got it. But we all have those moments. You're good. That's natural.
You're good.
You're good. There's
don't
nothing wrong with
worry.
you.
Go ahead and cry for 4 to 6 months.
Yes, no, it's natural. You feel defeated, and it's easy, and you have ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster. So 1 month I was singing the deltas, the next month nothing.
That's what it is. And I've read an article about that. They were you're on a high when you do so many different things, when you have consecutive shows and you come out with all this music, and then all of a sudden a week comes and you're not doing anything. That just F's you up
Yep.
mentally, and you're like, am I doing something wrong? Am I not good enough? Like,
Yep.
what happened to this? Am I on a hiatus now? And it's so crazy because, like, you do that to yourself. A lot of the negativity comes from within, and it's just your own thoughts. Meanwhile, everyone's just cheering you on, and you're just like,
In your own, yeah, like you could do
fuck you,
better.
I don't care. Yeah, right. Like, but it's just you, and that's the craziest part about it.
Yeah, my mom always tells me, she's like, your brain is so powerful.
Oh.
Cause like I'm crazy, so I like be making myself think I'm
We
sick.
all are, girl.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm dying. Like my head hurts. She's like, Jay, relax. You're gonna make yourself sick by thinking you're sick. But she always says, she's like, the brain is the most powerful thing. So if you can channel that, like those negative thoughts that so easily creep up in your brain, like into positivity, then
Yes.
if you can make yourself feel sick, you can make yourself feel well. Like, you know what I mean?
That's the, oh my God,
It's
that's so
crazy, but
true.
You
That's
just have
so
to
true.
switch that like knob, because it happens to me too. I have like anxiety. So
He knows a lot about my anxiety, girl.
anxiety is horrible.
It's so, and you know what? I didn't even know it was anxiety. I'm like, what is this feeling? Because I used to get panic attacks. I used to serve, and I'm like, what is this feeling of being overwhelmed and not being able to breathe? Like, I thought I was just doing a shitty job, but it's a real feeling, and I understand that it all comes from within. It all comes mentally, but it's just, how do you stop that? Like, how do you just, besides breathing, counting to 10, is there anything else that just makes it go away?
With me, I put like, this might sound so corny, but music
No, say
goes
it,
back
say
to
it.
music. I put like these like
Wow.
different meditation things on my phone, and if I ever feel overwhelmed, I'll put my headphones in, and I'll literally just like, because I get overly stimulated, which sounds crazy, but I get overly stimulated. So if I'm like in a party or like something like that, like, and there's so much going on, and so many people trying to talk to you, and then I don't know, I just gotta like kind of shut down. Cause like I call myself an ambivert. Have you heard of ambivert? Like, so it's not an extrovert or
It's
an introvert.
both.
It's like a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. So I need to like recharge myself, quote unquote.
yes.
So if I'm out for too long, like commingling with people, I'm like, I'll kind of shut down after a while. I'll be like, okay, like I'm done. I've talked enough. But so that's me. So I'll use music that way. Like I'll do it in my car sometimes if I had a stressful day. And it's like meditation music, and so that helps. But breathing helps. So.
Yes.
But anxiety's the devil. There's no other way to put it. It's the devil.
It sure is. So meditation is one form of self-care for you. What else do you do with self-care?
Essential oils.
Yes.
Essential oils,
Like,
lavender.
What's it called? Like one of those purifiers, or do you put it on your temples, or?
Well, okay. Well, one time I had this whole bout with like a medication, and I was literally dousing myself in lavender because it made my anxiety like go like skyrocket. Like I
Wow.
have anxiety on a regular, but then like the medication just took it over the top. Like I was so paranoid, and so I just was like putting like it was holy water, like just putting lavender on. So I was like, let me just throw this on. But typically on a regular day, like when I'm sane, I'll put it in like my diffuser, my pure air purifier. But I like eucalyptus, lavender, and those are relaxing.
Yes, I love that one. Orange too is good. Orange is very good. When you need to be uplifted and you need to be in a better mood,
I need
orange.
to try that.
Yes, girl.
And I like to mix too.
And you know what? Oh, you have to mix.
Okay. I
Yes.
don't know if you're supposed to do that, but
I don't know if you go on Pinterest, but they have like a bunch of different things to mix on their essential
oh, no,
oils.
You need to share that with me actually.
I'll screenshot it and send it to you. Speaking of essential oils, well, speaking of eucalyptus, actually, I took a bath yesterday. I don't know if you've ever done it with, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I've done it in the shower where it'll like
Oh, I never tried that before.
the shower when I'm sick. Is it
With the
eucalyptus?
essential oil?
Yeah, I'll put it like by the. They have these things
I
too
never
that
thought
have
about
little
that.
tabs. I got them from Walmart. It's
Ooh.
kind of whack. Don't do it.
No?
Don't do it. I don't know why I just told you about it and then was like, don't do it. But like I take the essential oil.
She said this is amazing, wait, but don't do it.
But don't do it. It was like, because it went, like you spent money on it and it was kind of pricey and then it just kind of deteriorated really fast.
Oh.
So, I mean, yeah, it's getting wet and it's supposed to shrink, but it happened a little too fast for me for how much money I spent. But the essential oil for like one shower, if you put the eucalyptus by where it like steams the most or whatever, A1.
I
It's
gotta
like a
try
spa.
that. Wow, she just put me
It's
on.
like a spa.
That's amazing. Okay, we just went super like
I know.
in depth with that. That was
Healing,
like,
holistic.
yes, I'm taking notes. But I wanted to go back to your mom. How is that in terms of support? Like, is she supportive of you? Was she doubtful at first and like?
Her and my dad, like my mom's more involved with my dad because my dad like works like all the time, but my mom's always been like a stay-at-home mom. So me and my brother, as we like started going into studios and stuff, we started bringing her with us, whether it's a smoking studio or a non-smoking
way.
studio. gets a little sketchy sometimes, but she's
Oh
gotten
my
used to it. So like she'll be sitting there like just in her little corner on Facebook, or she does her little CNN app where she's watching like, the
Wait,
news.
as people are smoking? Now
She's
that's
like,
love.
Yep.
That's love.
Yeah, but we had to get her to that point though. She has not
No?
always been but she's always been supportive. I must say, she's been very supportive. In the beginning, very skeptical, kind of. I guess of more so me being judged. So she was very like apprehensive, like, okay, are you sure you want to do this? Because she knows I can be like anxious and stuff like that. So after she kind of saw I kind of like handle those hurdles on my own, she was like, okay, we're behind you and we'll help you. And like she'll go as far as to like helping me get into the city because my driving.
Oh,
Whoa.
girl, I'm Asian. I
It's
know.
a whole nother story.
Like,
It's a whole
what?
nother story. Like, you're not gonna put me behind the wheel, especially
Noted.
with inclement weather. No. But like she'll help get me, like her and my brother. Between her and my brother, like that's how I really have to attribute a lot of the places I've gotten, like my brother's networking skills and my mom helping me get there, especially when I was like younger, like in like college when my driving, like I can drive a little bit better now, but like back then my driving was trash, so still is trash probably to some.
I'm crying.
But she really helps. Like she's a big force behind like keeping us motivated. So yeah, Mama, she's always trying to write too. She'll like be like, oh my gosh, I took down these lyrics. Like when I was in the hair salon, I put them in my notes. Like
That's so
I'm like,
cute.
oh, girl, no.
So you're like motivating her now, and she's going back into singing.
Yes. I'm like, wow. So you want to be part of the creative process? She's like, I mean, I just was like thinking, like she's like, I just put them in my notes, but like you just don't have to like them. Me and my
Be
brother
a backup singer. Can you imagine? You're like
on the stage.
I love that. But parents, I feel like they're so skeptical of their kids doing music, right? It was my parents were the same way. Of course, I'm Asian, so it was like,
Yup.
it was very intense. But once they start seeing you put in the work, they kind of back off a little bit. It's crazy because it's like even Lionel said the same thing. He was like, yeah, my parents, you know, they gave me a hard time about acting, but then all of a sudden I started going to the city, I started doing shows, this and that, and then they were a little bit more supportive about it. Do you think that, you know, when you become a parent, you'd be the same way, or?
I feel like I will be, especially because I'm a creative myself. So even if my kid wants to like go to college, like become a lawyer, like do what you want to do, but like it's not for everybody. Like I always say, so me and my brother always have this discussion because he has a 4-year-old and he has another one on the way. So it's a little more real for him than me. But I got no babies, nothing. But she's like, she's a free spirit. So we always say like, oh, if Michaela doesn't want to go to school, like he's like, I'm not gonna make her go to school, like because I feel like it's not for everyone. Like sometimes when you're sitting, like me, I don't think it was for me, but I toughed and persevered through it. And like I can say school taught me something, but I don't think it's for everyone. So I'm not gonna be that parent to like make my kid go.
Yes,
if they
I
wanna,
agree.
Like do like
Dabble
art,
into anything.
Yeah, like make yourself well-rounded. Find your, and it's so crazy to me too because we force our kids into like the education system, and then like I'll look at my grandma sometimes. I'm like, oh, what are you passionate about? She can't tell me. Like she's like, oh, I just went to school. I got my nursing degree, and like I was a nurse, and I just had to keep food in your mom and your like uncles, whatever's mouths, and that's what it is. I don't really know what I'm passionate about, and I'm like, wow, not everybody had the like luxury to discover what they're passionate about because they had to like put food in their kids' mouths, like keep clothes on their back. So it's a blessing that like I kind of want to like give my kids that opportunity, whether I have the funds to or not. I'm gonna claim them, have the funds to help them with whatever they're doing. But you just, I don't know, you gotta support your kids and whatever they want to be, because I don't want them to be like my grandma, like they didn't know. Like I that really like hurt. I was like, you don't know like what you're passionate about.
And it's such a different generation too back in the day.
Yep. And my mom will say, she was like, yeah, all we were taught was to go to school, get a degree, get your paper, and then that's how you get a job. But we don't even have that security nowadays. You can go to school all you want. You know you can get debt, but there's no guarantee you're gonna get like a job.
Exactly. But society still pushes that on you, and I feel like that's a very difficult thing for artists, because for me, like I went to college, but I was like back and forth with different majors because same thing, I was very lost. I'm just doing this because my parents wanted me to do it, and now I'm on hiatus from school and I'm just trying to focus on music. But it's like, why did I have to go through this just because I had to please you guys, or I had to conform to a certain society? And now I'm going through depression. I'm lost. I'm confused as a 26-year-old because my parents, I mean, I love my parents, I'm not gonna say, but like my parents just wanted to brag to their friends or just show off that I had a piece of paper or whatever, you know? So it's very important, I feel like, for parents, and I'm very appreciative for my parents now and other parents that support their children and what their passions are.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, college takes you like at your prime years. So when you're like, what is it, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I think I graduated from school like 22, or maybe it was 23. I think I had an extra semester, but whatever. But like they take you at those young years when like
you don't know anything.
You don't know anything, and if you do have a talent, like you could be curating that talent, or like, because I always tell my mom, I'm like, we gave, like, I went to Rider University, and yes, I'm calling them out because it's like $100,000. Like, it's no joke. Like,
what was your major?
Public relations.
Okay.
So I did like my major. I did. It was okay, but it's not music. But so like you take that money and you put it into that. Like, you could have taken that money and put it into, like...
Into what you really love.
Yeah, like, if you really... And when you're 18, you don't know. Like, I couldn't definitively tell my parents, like, at 18, I would like to be a singer-songwriter. Like, I want to do this. Like, I didn't know. So they were like, go to school. I was like, okay. So I went to school, and I just did what I had to do. But I'm like, you take the... But they take those formative years, like, school, and it's so irritating. And I don't want to, like dwell on it and be like, wow, like, I was sitting in a classroom when I could have been, like, in the city trying to, like, do what I'm doing now. Because you're right, time's just... steadily going and you're getting older, but we just have to look at it as part of our journey. And like everything happened for a reason.
There's always time as long as you put time towards it.
Yes. So I try not to dwell on that, but it's just irritating because college really is like during those years when you can be doing like whatever, and then you get out and you're like, dang, I still don't know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do now? And you like, but they make it seem like college is the answer, but it's not. It's not for everyone. Some people it is, but. And I'm not knocking it, but for me, it was not the answer. I was just as confused when I walked in and when I walked across the stage, and I was like, just confused.
But listen, we still got time, real, because Lizzo, I looked it up. She's like 31 or 33 years old.
And
yeah,
she looks good.
She looks so good. That's why I was like, I need to check how old she is because I can't tell if she's like late 20s or she's early 30s. So we still got time.
I'm down. Like, I just have to keep my energy up there.
Yes, keep the energy up.
Yeah.
You talked about anxiety. How was that like when it came to performing? Because I have like, before a show, I feel like I'm gonna black out, or I'm like, I have to repeat the song lyrics in my head before I hit the stage. Do you go through the same thing?
Okay, so this is bad, but I get nervous to sing, so more so I would be like, oh, Janay, don't let your voice tremble, because whenever I'm nervous, like even if I talk and I'm nervous, my voice just goes, like it has this little like froggy thing to it. But my mom always gets on me when I would do like covers and stuff at Deltas. I would not stress about the lyrics because I'd be like, listen, it's hard enough to get up there and sing. So I would literally like freelance and just like, da, 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 da. And nobody, it's so crazy, nobody would know in the moment. Like if you don't show it on your face, nobody knows it. Like some people might be sitting there like, that ain't what I heard when I used to listen to that song. But nobody's gonna call you out on it. Like they'd be like, you're in the vibe. If you just keep carrying on. But my mom always gets on. She's like, you need to learn your words. And, like, I heard you up there repeating the same verse to the second time. I was like, listen.
We've all been there.
It's hard to be up there. And, like, if you got lights in your face and then you got a microphone, you're trying to compose yourself so that you're delivering your voice clearly and loud enough.
Just thinking about it.
I know. It gives you anxiety, like, thinking about it. So that's why I'm like, listen, I'm not stressing about these words. It's going to come out how it comes out. Today, and every time she's like, oh, you didn't do too bad. I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not stressing about these lyrics, like, because it's a lot.
That's amazing. Even for your own songs though, like it's the same thing, or
for my own songs, I do a better job at remembering them, but so thank goodness for that. But sometimes with the cover songs, I don't know why, like I'll blank out like up there, and so I'll just repeat the second verse, and I'll be like, dang, like, oh, what's the second verse? And I start like panicking, so I'll be like, oh, just repeat the first verse and just keep pushing.
Just finesse it. Like, you got this.
Do a little riff here and then bury it up, and they'll be like, oh, okay.
Just point the mic to them and let them sing it, you know?
Sing. But no, I can't stress about lyrics. I try not to stress myself that.
That's good.
I've always been the type to like rationalize what I'm going to stress about. I'm still stressing, but I'll just rationalize which one. I'll be like, I don't care about you. I'm going to stress. But like, I would never stress about my grades.
Ooh.
When I was in school, I would never.
That's a really good life tip, actually.
I mean, I'm like, listen, either way, I'm getting into heaven. Like, if I had F's, if I had D's, God would still let me
Girl, at least I'll be in purgatory for mad long. Like, we don't know which way she gonna go.
Oh like, God, let me in. Knocking at the pearly gates. Oh my God, I don't know. I just have to develop that philosophy because I'm like you. I'll kind of like dwell on things or like overthink them, and then once you overthink them, then you've given like your fear. It's it.
You've unlocked the door.
Yeah, fear is in. So I'd be trying to just be like, oh, whatever, I don't care. Let me
just have fun.
Have fun.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's what my brother always says. He'd be like, Janay, just have fun. And my brother can always tell when I'm overthinking before I go up to sing, or when I'm in the booth. If I'm in the booth, oh my gosh. So if we're in there with somebody else, I'll get nervous. So if it's like a whole studio of people, I'm like,
I used to hate that.
It's
why are y'all
annoying.
here?
Yeah, they're partying. I'm in there trying to focus.
I think it's awesome that you have your brother with you. Like that's what I mean, Ron's not my brother, that'd be really freaking weird, but like it's so important to have that person that's cheering you on and just calming you down when you need it, because I can't imagine doing it alone.
No,
I can't.
Scary. Even like as a female going to some of these like sessions and stuff, like I can be as professional as I want to be. Somebody's always gonna try something, and I'm like, no, that's my brother. Like, or like, and it's funny because people will kind of get in check once I like explain the dynamic to them. But sometimes it's weird because I think he's my boyfriend. I'm like, no, I'm like, that's my brother. We have the same exact face. Like, how could you mistake us for anything else? But like, typically that keeps them in line to a certain extent, because in a male-dominated industry, like it's hard because they think you're willing to do anything and everything just to like get a session. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to throw my morals out the window to make a song.
Right.
So it helps that he's around because he's able to like keep everything copacetic. But and he's good at feeling out people too. Like, no, we're not working with him again. Like, we're gonna just like keep pushing and we'll find our opportunity the other way.
And that's hard. Like, as a female, it's a really annoying thing to deal with, being sexualized. Like I'm reading a book right now. She's not a singer, she's an actress, but she basically like effed her way to the top. And I'm like, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, shout out to y'all that do that, because y'all made it. But like, like I'm like, I can't. How? Like, I can't even stand when a person will slide in my DMs and be like, oh, like I want to work with your music, but then all of a sudden it has nothing to do with music. Yeah. Or like, I want to be your manager, I want to do this for you, but then you're starting to talk about something that's not even music related.
And you're like, ooh, how professional are you if you're going down here? And I don't know, because it get really sketchy, and you have to like use your discretion to be like, you're a little weird. Like, I've gotten some instances before where somebody was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, my brother always like drives me, I can't drive. Like, I'll make a joke of it, like how I just did with you. I'm like, yeah, I'm a horrible driver, like, but we'll come through. Does your brother have to come? Like, is it necessary that he comes?
No way.
Because I can send a car for you,
crazy.
and like I'll just come pick you, like, or I'll get somebody to come pick you. I'm like, no, I don't know you.
Delete.
So I'm like, delete. We're not working together. But it's weird, like how men, like, they'll be like, oh, well, if she wants it bad enough, like maybe she'll do this, and maybe she'll do that. No. Mama didn't raise me like that.
Have you ever been naive, like when you first started out?
Kind of, yeah. My brother had to
We
put
all
in perspective.
been there.
He was like, Janay, you can't. He was like, you can't be like wearing this stuff. Like, I'm like, but I don't. And I used to be like, they can't tell me what to wear. If it's hot outside, I'm gonna wear a short skirt. Like, I'm gonna wear a short shirt.
See, I'm not the only one that deals with this. Thank you.
I'm like, I'm gonna wear it. And my brother was like, but it's the reality. He was like, people are gonna look at you like that. And they're going to think that they can do certain things or say certain things.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying. Because I'm like, a man can walk in and like wear whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants.
He doesn't have to worry about being sexualized. But if we
just want to look cute and just be us.
It's hot. I'm wearing a crop top and some shorts.
This is what, like, you need to get, for us, we need to get into the zone. In order to get into the zone, a part of it is being prettier, like, you know, feeling cute or whatever.
Yeah. You got to not have to worry about how you look when you're having to worry about like having to share your talent with someone. Like, it just kind of like blocks out another insecurity, or like, I get what you're saying. Like, you have to just kind of like, it helps you get in the zone more. Okay, first of all, I hate doing collaborations. Like, not even with females, it's okay. With males, it's like a different story. But I was gonna do a collab with this person, right? And then he brought someone into the studio, and I walk up to the desk, and apparently, like, I don't know because I'm face forward, but like Ron said that he looked at my ass or whatever. I didn't know this. Ron told me afterwards, but Ron left the room, and I'm like, "What? Why are you leaving the room?" Like, you know, I'm just trying to make music. Yeah, like, I'm just trying to go in there and just, you know, catch a vibe and like make this track. And now all of a sudden I'm in the booth, but then I see my boyfriend leave. I'm like, what's going on? Mind you, this is afterwards. We're already in the car. I'm like, what is this on my shirt? We're in the car already, and he was like, he looked at your ass, and it made me very uncomfortable. And I got upset at him because I'm like, why? Like, why are you upset? Like, I'm just trying to make my music. Like, he wasn't doing anything wrong. And he was like, Joanne, I'm a guy. Like, I know these things. Like, you need to understand that just because you're making music or this and that, like, men will still be men. Not men, sorry. Boys will still be boys. Like, you have to keep that in mind. You can't just go around wearing shorts to a studio and thinking that people aren't, you know, gonna watch you. Yeah, because everybody has tunnel vision. Like,
exactly.
We're here to work.
And that really discouraged me. Like, I was crying in the car because I'm like, I just don't understand. Like, I just want to make music. Yeah.
It's upsetting because you're like, okay, how do I determine who's really about the music and who's really not about the music? Because sometimes you can't get that like hint or that like inkling or that gut feeling right away. Yeah. Sometimes you end up in the studio with them and you're like, damn.
You're just so motivated to put in work.
And you're like, dang, you're one of those, huh? That's what you're up to. That's your
Yeah.
agenda. But yeah, I got mad. It was funny because me, my brother, and my dad actually got into like an argument. And I was like, no, like it's not fair, because they were like,
See?
like I was complaining about how people come in my DMs. And I was like, I don't understand like why they think that. My brother was like, it's because what you post. I was like, I don't post anything. I was like, and he's like, well, you post bathing suit photos? And I'm like, but I'm on a beach in a bathing suit. Like, what do you want me to do? Be fully clothed? He was like, yeah, but he was like, guys are going to be guys, like boys are going to be boys. He was like, that's just what it is. He was like, so you can't like sit and complain and be like, oh, like, why are they like coming at me like this? He was like, but I was like, I'm not a hoe. Like, I got so offended. I was like, I'm not a hoe. And my dad was like, no, that's not what we're saying. He's like, we're just saying, like, guys are going to be guys.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating. It's the most frustrating thing, because you feel it, like, you always feel disadvantaged as a female. You're like, okay, so if I'm even fully covered,
You just can't win.
nope, you can't win. I watched this thing, and I pulled it up as, like, a point of my argument, but I think it ended up working against me. It was, like, this lady walking down the street in New York City, and they were, like, recording her, and, like, everybody was like, oh, okay, mommy, like that. Ooh, just, like, whistling. Like, like, she just constantly got, like, catcalled and, like, all those type of, like, ignorant things. And it was, like, for 80 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. Like, and they just showed, like, how men are. And I was like, oh, look, see, she's fully clothed. And, like, and my dad was like, that's our point. Like, you're validating our point right now. You had a swimsuit on, and so if they're gonna do that, like when she's fully clothed, imagine what they'll do if you post a picture of you have like short shorts on, or I'm like, I'm like, you're right. But I didn't want to admit it, because I was like, that's not fair. It's not fair to live in a world like that. My dad's like, I don't make the rules. It's just the reality. He's like, that's what it is. So I totally feel you on that. It's discouraging as a female, especially in this industry. Like I said, male dominated.
It's tough. We have to deal with so much as females. We have to deal with males sexualizing us. We have to deal with, not being too sexual, not being sexual enough. If you're Tori Kelly, she's freaking amazing. But the fact that she won't, and she's written songs about it. She's like, I'm not going to sell myself as sexual. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stick to what I love to do and how I write things. And she's not as poppin'. But
because of that,
but if she were to like walk around and do these songs about sex, this and that, wearing provocative clothes, she probably would be on top right now, because her voice is
insane,
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like, I don't know if you've ever heard Billie Eilish.
Yes, love her.
I love her music, and I love what she stands for. So she always has like those baggy like coats on. Tomboy. But she said she doesn't like to show males like her body, because they'll never know whether she's thick or whether she's like super
true.
Like skinny. So they're basing their opinion of her based off of like her music.
And it's so different. Her music is so different and like very indie, but then I love how she dresses like ghetto sometimes. And I'm like, what is this?
She got like Tim's on, like, oh.
Yeah, she got Tim's on. She's like with all these rappers, but then her voice is very, I don't even know how to like describe it. It's just like different.
Meditation. That song, Ocean Eyes, oh my God.
And she wrote that at like 15 freaking years old.
What?
Yeah, she's only like 17 right now.
Okay, that makes me
She's like 16 or 17, and she popped off when she was 14 or 15, but she's grown up in that artsy world. Like her parents, like, and I kind of like envious of that too, when you have parents that just brought you into that. Like, like your dad's a producer or like played the, guitar or whatever.
So let's just bring you up into this, this family business.
But shout out to her parents, because she is amazing.
Yeah, she really is. I love her. I love her music. I just recently discovered her beginning of this year.
Yes, Aaron showed me her. Shout out to Aaron Costley. The song that he showed me was, what was it? It was the one where she like talks about her friend's body in the car.
I've never heard this one.
Oh my God, you need to wait. Hold on. This is like, you probably heard this. You had to have heard this.
It's like one of her popular.
So I don't know if it's popular. But it wasn't like as popular as the music that came out now. But it's like, bruh, this is so. Oh, Belly Ache.
No,
do you know Belly Ache?
I've never heard this song.
Girl, I'm about to put you on really quick. This was what? This was 2017. Like, you're 14, 15 years old doing this with your brother. You're next. You and your brother.
She did with her brother?
This is her brother. You don't know that? No. Her brother's the one that's on stage with her. He's the one that does I don't know if he's on the piano or the guitar, but he writes like they write together. They write these beats together, and then they write the music together.
That's so dope.
Phineas, that's his name, Phineas. But I'm just like, I'm in awe. Like,
That's-
this is different. It's, you know, refreshing.
Yeah, and to put like, see somebody like that to put that out, and that's not even the wave, and for it to catch the way it did, like I would have been so nervous being her. I would have been like,
Right?
I'm like, this is not the wave. Nobody's gonna listen to this. But sometimes you make your own path that way, just for like stepping out on a like leap of faith or whatever you want to call it, because she made it.
That's it.
I
That's
did
all
not
that
know this was
matters.
her brothers.
Anything coming in the future for you? Anything
I'm
happening?
Working with this guy named Swift.
I don't
So he's a producer from New York, and he's worked with like Cardi. He's worked with a whole bunch of other people.
Okay, here we go.
I don't even remember Cardi because Cardi, like it's Cardi, but
Come on.
Cardi. But like he's really dope. He's like really down to earth about his business. So you cannot complain from that standpoint.
Okay.
He's open to collab with my brother, which is always like one of my things. So he's willing to collab, and a lot of producers aren't willing to collab with other producers. So that's dope on his
awesome.
part too. So I think we're all like gonna come together and finally put out an EP.
Yes.
Stop messing around and put out an EP, but that's
We're waiting on it.
me too. Every time I work on a song, I'm like, I like this. And then I'm like, let me get another. I'm like, oh, I like this one. And let me get another. I'm like, oh, I like this one. And then I'm like, oh no, I don't like that one anymore. Like it's just so weird, like the creative process.
Yes.
Like I just want to scrap everything. Sometimes I'm just like, start all over. But my brother's like, no, we're just gonna keep building. But I think we found like a solid team. So
Okay.
that makes it feel a little bit
So
better.
important too.
You don't realize how important it is until like you don't have it, I guess. Because I figured that out. I was like, oh, I don't need any other producer. But that different sound that like Swift brings, like,
Oh, yeah.
it helps. So even for my brother, like he's open to it, and like they like collaborate and bounce ideas off of one another. So that's what's coming up next.
Yeah. All right, girls. So tell us where we can find you on social media.
I'm Janay Nicole Music. Janay spelled Janay, and then Nicole, and then music, how we all spell it. And that's what I am on Instagram. I'm mainly on Instagram. And you can find me on like SoundCloud and Apple Music under Janay Nicole as well. So go take a listen. Got 2 singles out. More on the
Money
way.
Mood is my shit, girl.
That's like a vibe. It's like completely the opposite of me, but it's a vibe. So go take a listen.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
There's so much more that we have to talk about, so there's definitely going to be a part 2 after the EP comes out, obviously. But for now, we're going to do a fun game, drinking game. Stay tuned.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ron Diggity, and today we will be playing the headphone game. So with the headphone game, basically one of the contestants will have a set of headphones on, listening to music. The other person will be holding up a note card with an artist's name, showing the other person the artist's name. The person will be singing the song while the other person is listening to music really loud, unable to hear what they're singing. They have to now guess what song it is that they are singing. They can see the name, but they don't know the song. Let's see how it goes.
All right, so I can't hear anything right now, so let's just get it popping.
Oh wow, I don't know that song. Let's go this way.
Oh, she don't know that
Here we
one?
go.
Wait, it's upside down.
Okay. My bad.
Frank Ocean. Oh, God.
Novocaine, baby,
Baby, Novocaine,
Novocaine.
baby.
Who would have thought I'd get you?
Ooh.
Okay. The song, get you.
Ooh.
Get you.
The song, the name of the song. You have to say the name of the song. Take the headphones off. You have to say the name of the song.
Oh. I was like, ooh.
She gets it.
You get it. Just say the name of the
Get
song.
you. All right. Get you.
Get you.
Daniel
Got it.
says.
Okay, perfect. Cause we belong together. Who else am I gonna lean on when times get rough? Who
Shake
else
it
gonna talk
off.
to me? Who else gonna
Shake
talk
it
to
off.
me until the sun comes up? Who's gonna take your place? There ain't nobody better. Oh, baby, baby, we
Belong together, baby. We belong together, baby. Oh, shake it off. I just saw this and I'm like, shake it off.
Sorry, that was me. Oh. Say my name when no one
Destiny's
is
Child.
around you. Say, baby, I love you. If you ain't running game, say my name.
Say my name when no one is around. Yes.
All right, say my name. Okay.
Backstreet Boys.
You are
My fire, the one What's that song?
See?
I want it that way.
No.
Backstreet Boys.
So you're good at this. All right.
Oh God.
Well, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road.
Road.
Gonna
Ride till I can't no more. Yes. Lil Nas X, Old Town Road. Beyonce.
Honey, honey.
This is gonna be so hard.
See the stars all the way from here. Can't you see the glow on the wind? I don't even know the words. I can feel every time we wow, I don't know the words. With love, baby, it's you. You're the one
I love. You're the one I need. Okay. What's that? Love on Top,
There we go.
Beyonce.
She's like, okay. All right.
I do.
Oh, on and on and on and on.
I'm like stepping along to this instrumental.
Oh, on and on. I don't know the words. All I know is on and on. On and on and on.
On and on. On and on and on.
Yeah,
Erica
yeah,
Badu,
yeah.
on and on.
All right, bro.
Okay, it's my girl Riri. Don't let me down.
Rum pum pum pum. Rum pum pum pum.
Bitch, better have my money.
Oh
No.
no. Man down. Rum pum pum pum. Oh mama, mama, mama. I just shot a man down in Central Station.
Stop, bitch, better have my money.
In front of a big old crowd. Oh, man down.
No.
Oh mama, mama.
Oh, mama.
I just
Oh,
shot-
mama. I just shot a man down. Yes. I just
Oh,
shot
that
a
was
man
hard.
down. Rihanna shot a man
Yep.
down. Why did that take so long?
That was my fault. That was my fault.
No, that was good. I'm like, I can't. I cannot hear any. Was I here screaming?
That was my fault. And you were like, what? You snap it.
Oh my god, that was so fun.
You're really good at that, actually. I was
Really?
Like, just getting these like.
Yes. Shout out to my girl Janay for joining me tonight for this interview and this fun ass game. There's gonna be a part 2, like I said earlier, because we got a lot to talk about. We didn't get to cover everything, but it was a pleasure finally getting to talk to you about music. And good luck with all your future endeavors.
Thank you too, and it's a pleasure. All pleasures all mine.
Yes, and collaborating. Yes.